About 35,000 jobs are set to be lost because of tariffs that are on citrus farmers and their produce in South Africa.
So in parts of South Africa, probably the Cape farms and stuff like that, they have a citrus, which counts citrus exports accounts for 5 to 6% of South Africa's exports. And these exports go to the U.S. in the summer, and they're saying that the Trump tariffs will increase the price of a carton of oranges for up to $4. I don't know how that's going to play out in the cost, but I think this is an overreaction. A carton of oranges will go up by $4 per whatever. I'm not even sure if that's going to really shut down the South African exports. Second thing is that even if it does, they can just find someone else to sell to. There's China. South Africa is in BRICS. They'll find other markets. And if they don't find other markets, tough luck. But this is my point. South Africa, I'm going to say that South Africa is a sovereign nation. So if you're a sovereign nation, don't worry about what other countries do trade-wise, because it's fair. All countries are at competition with each other. If this is what Trump wants to do, fine. This is a problem for South Africa to figure out itself as a sovereign country. No country should ever be dependent on another country for trade. What do you think, Afolabi?
Yes, I agree with you. South Africa is a sovereign nation, and they shouldn't depend on any other country for trade. And in the eventuality of tariffs that are going to affect jobs, if there are going to be job cuts, I think they should work with some of their African allies and some of their partners in BRICS to push back against these tariffs and find new trade partners, basically. They can't continue to allow themselves to be held ransom by some. It's a lot of revenue, actually. $100 million annually is a lot. But the earlier they become more self-sufficient and look inwards and begin to build new partnerships, maybe in China, Europe, or Middle East, the better it is for them. So that America does not continue to kick them around.
And here's what happens. If these tariffs that Trump is going to do is going to increase the price of oranges in America, but the way economics work is going to increase it worldwide. That's why I say South Africa is not going to lose anything, because the whole worldwide price will increase. And most likely they'll still have to sell it to the U.S., or they'll find another cheaper market. But at the end of the day,
Americans will have to pay more.
Yeah. At the end of the day, though, for example, in South Africa, they're complaining about the U.S. cutting aid. I always say this: anybody that's helping you, you end up becoming their toy. So it's time for African nations. That's not just South Africa, Nigeria, all these countries. Stop taking aid from the U.S. Let them cut it. It's just like me living with my dad, and I'm 30 years old. He's still giving me money. He said, I'm going to give you money anymore. Okay, I'm going to go out and find another strategy. So African nations have to realize the U.S. is not your friend. The West is not your friend. China is not your friend. Russia is not your friend. So for African nations, we have to have economies that plan for these types of things. There's no reason why South Africa, which has more resources than any European country, should have to be dependent on the West. This is corruption, and it's also due to colonialism and being held back. But at this point, this is a war. If you see what they did in Mali to the French, they kicked their asses out. This is a war now. So you identify, yes, we've had colonialism, we've had apartheid, and we're down. But this is a war. And during war, you have to suffer. No more kissing America's ass for anybody. That's Nigeria, too. No more of this bullshit. If they want to put sanctions on you, go ahead. Because as Biko said, black man, you're on your own. What do you think, Alex?
I agree with you. But I feel like South Africa is a bit rigid. I don't feel like we are an adaptable nation, like in terms of situations like this. I feel like Cyril will probably just wait until things calm down and still continue to want to make business with the US. I'm not really sure if he's really... If Julius Malema was the president...
Yeah. Well,
if Julius Malema was the president, I would be confident, be like, okay, yeah, he's going to take advantage of this situation.
Yeah. So,
pardon? I beg your pardon.
Yeah. What I was saying is you're right. So the thing is that rigidity, same thing. America's rigid too. America's going through an economic collapse, and they don't realize that they have to stop spending trillions of dollars on war. Americans like to brag, oh, we have a big army with big guns. So they would rather be poor to prove that they're men. So that rigidity is going to hurt America too. So what you said is true. And Ramaphosa basically is kissing everybody's ass. And now you see the result of it. We're not going to talk about it yet. The
He
DA is trying to push him around and doesn't want to pass the budget. They got mad when he gave healthcare to South Africans, to everybody, equal healthcare. They got mad when he put education. Now they're telling him that he can't do certain things with the budget because they don't like it. So he's everybody's bitch. So he's going to be treated like a bitch. And the citizens of the country need to watch that, see that. Same thing with sending troops to the UN to fight Congo and Rwanda when South Africa has nothing to gain from it. So Cyril Ramaphosa, he was also not behind directly, but he was a shareholder in the company with Loanman when those guys were killed. So to me, the guy is just a businessman. He doesn't care about South Africa. What are your thoughts, Alex? Yeah. Alex, what are your thoughts? Yeah, I was going back.
Yeah, he doesn't care about the country. Yeah. Yeah, because also, I think now we're going to touch on another topic because I also found out that he used to be a bodyguard for one of those apartheid presidents back then. He used to be a bodyguard, and now he's the president. So, like, that's really nice too.
He's a double.
Yeah, he's two-faced. I think it's just a facade. Like, there's someone behind the ANC who's pulling the actual strings. He's just the face.
I think
he's
you're
not really
doing
doing
it. It might be your.
But in terms of the job cuts, I was really